Shotti officially caught on wiretap, admitting he's guilty. Leaked audio.
Out the blue. That's how I feel. I'm keeping it real.
We gonna take over the world, like, you know what I'm saying?
Tekashi 6ix9ine has recently been the hottest topic on most hip-hop news platforms. But if you ask me, Shotti deserves that attention more than anyone that was in Treyway Entertainment. Shotti was one of the gang's most involved members. Today at Lime Report, we're going to be talking about Shotti getting caught on audio speaking about the crimes he's committed. Be sure to watch this video until the end, as it will become more and more interesting. Before we jump into this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and comment keyword Shotti to enter a chance at winning our $100 Amazon gift card giveaway. What many people don't know about Shotti is how down he was for his team. I mean, his name says it for himself. As we all know, he and Tekashi are part of the 9 Trey, and when living that lifestyle, things tend to get serious. Before the huge fallout of their team, 6ix9ine and Shotti were like brothers. They came up from the depths of the bottom and made it to the top of the rap industry side by side. Unfortunately for the team, as more money started to come in, more problems began coming in as well. I'm sure we've all heard about Tekashi 6ix9ine being kidnapped and robbed for his jewelry. But do any of us truly know the real story? Here at Lime Report, we're going to be covering some parts that nobody heard of. Stay tuned, as this will become very interesting. We'll be starting off with Tekashi's perspective of the story. Keep watching to find out how Shotti was caught admitting to the crimes he committed after 6ix9ine's kidnapping. To begin with, Tekashi described the event saying, "We stop at the intersection of Atlanta Avenue and Bedford, by the shelter. We get hit from behind. George tells me, 'Don't get out of the car. I'll let them go on their way.' Assuming it was someone. George gets out of the car. He takes longer than usual. I see a guy running up with a gun. I could have tried to lock the door, but it was too late. The person who ran up was Harv's friend. He's like, 'Shut the up, get out of the car.' Harv was there too, wearing a red hoodie. I was telling him, 'Bro, I put money in your pocket. I did right by you. I was tired of being extorted.' Harv goes into the car and takes my book bag with my laptop. They tell me to get into the car that bumped me. Harv gets in the driver's seat. We drive like a minute, then Harv stops and gets out, running with the gun back to George, who's following us. George puts it in reverse. Harv says we can just do this in right here. No one will ever know. This is a stolen vehicle. Harv asked, 'What are you exchanging for your life?' I say, 'Stay with me till the morning.' Tekashi then offered him $100,000 when the banks opened. However, he says that Harv replied, 'What you got right now?' Tekashi continued his testimony by saying, 'We came to an agreement. If I gave them my jewelry, they would let me go.' They grabbed the jewelry. I was expecting to be let out of the car, but Harv just keeps driving. They let me out right behind Smurf Village. Harv said, 'Get out of the car.' I said, 'No. If I get out, you gonna shoot me in my back.' Harv said, 'Get the out of the car.' So I ran. I took the first left I could. I jumped in the back seat of a car. The guy said, 'Get the out of my car.' I said, 'Bro, you need to relax at this point. Just drive.' After Harv drove away, I told the guy to drop me at the precinct by Quincy. I asked for medical assistance. I went to King's Country Hospital. Shotti got me discharged. He took me to somewhere in Long Island, a hospital, CAT scan, concussion medication. Later at 31 Kingston, I told Mel Murda what had happened. As we can tell, things radically got serious for 6ix9ine, which means things got serious for his crew. Shotti was known as Tekashi 6ix9ine's big homie, and it was more like a duty of his to react protectively towards his kidnapping. But this is where things went downhill for Shotti. Little did anybody know, the FBI was playing their role all along. Now, the part we've all been waiting for. After the hospital visit, Mel Murda, Shotti, and Tekashi met up at 31 Kingston. They had a talk about the situation in Mel's vehicle, but little did anyone know, well, except for Mel Murda. Mel Murda was tapped with a wire the whole time. The team literally had a full conversation in Mel's car, and his vehicle was tapped. It was a good day for the FBI. On that day, Shotti was caught admitting some serious crimes that he committed in the past, and was also caught explaining what's going to happen next. This is basically how it went. It was a serious moment. 6ix9ine had just been kidnapped and robbed. Shotti had to prove to everyone that he was really down to ride for Tekashi. They were having their meeting about the situation, and Shotti pulls an assault rifle out of his duffel bag. Things got serious. Shotti got caught on tape saying, "I'm gonna spin the block with this thing." It was obvious he was looking to harm Harv, 6ix9ine's kidnapper. Shotti happened to really get into the moment and started going off about other stuff to saying things that he truly shouldn't have. Shotti was furious and started saying to 6ix9ine and Mel Murda, "Someone like Harv ain't getting away with this. He must not know who I am. I earn my stripes." He then admitted to shooting 5 people in one night. Little did he know he was being recorded the whole time. After this, the FBI held their ground for some time and continued to collect more evidence on the gang, until finally, doomsday arrived. The team had a fallout, and the feds decided it would be a great time for them to make their move. They ended up kicking down doors and arresting every member of the team. They had all the evidence they needed. All they needed was someone to convince to work with them on the case. They came to the conclusion that Tekashi 6ix9ine would be the perfect person, considering he was emotionally going through a hard time. I mean, let's be real, the feds knew exactly how they were playing their cards, and they weren't gonna lose. They confront Tekashi with a bunch of news that he didn't know about that ended up making him lose even more trust for his now old team. The feds had evidence that his best friend and former manager, Shotti, was sleeping with his baby mama, Sarah Molina. As if it wasn't enough, to make Tekashi turn on his team, the feds also had evidence that his old team was eventually planning a hit on him as well. With all that being said, Tekashi 6ix9ine was convinced to turn on them, which resulted in him being known as a snitch. After all, Tekashi ended up revealing the truth about everything that went on in his gang to the feds. And as a reward, he is now looking to be released from prison in just a few months. Unfortunately for his old team, it wasn't a happy ending. In this section, we'll be getting into some past experiences of the gang. Proof of them committing the crimes they did will be revealed, so stay tuned. In the beginning, the money seemed to become a serious issue and began to spark arguments between 6ix9ine and the rest of his crew, Shotti included. Then, a few months later, the infamous accident at the Barclays Center occurred in New York. While attending a boxing match, Tekashi ran into his current rival, Casanova. The two crews got into a physical altercation, shoving and yelling at each other. Then, a member of Tekashi's crew let off a gunshot into the air, purportedly a .38 caliber. Nobody was hurt, and no arrests were made immediately following the incident. Tekashi mentioned the incident at a concert later, screaming out to the packed crowd, "Shout out Casanova! That." Tekashi was later banned from performing at the Barclays Center, despite being scheduled to perform during the main boxing event. But while he was testifying in court a few weeks ago, Tekashi told a different story. But it implicated Shotti in the gunshot that went off. Tekashi 6ix9ine said, "We're in a tunnel. The door opened, and 30 of Casanova's people come rushing at us, 6 or 7 of us. They were trying to get me, but I made my way to the back." Shotti told Fuquan Lovick to pull out the gun and shoot it. The weapon was reportedly a .38 caliber sidearm, and the shot went into the air, not causing any harm to any person present. However, just hours before the event at Barclays Center, Shotti was involved in another event that got mentioned in the trial, also involving firearms. And these charges are the ones that landed him in prison. Shotti pled guilty back in July of this year. The charges he admitted to were, according to the court documents, using and possessing a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence, and discharging a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence. Tekashi described the incident play-by-play style in his testimony. We're going to quote it in full for you now, so you get the same picture as the jury. Tekashi said, "I went to the bank, bought some clothing, got some food at a Spanish restaurant. I was getting ready for a performance at Barclays Center. 2 guys are harassing me. George is driving my Suburban. They pull up parallel, recording, mocking me. So Shotti pulls out a gun, opens their door, and pistol whips them. We're telling Shotti to chill. It's the main street, Graham Avenue. The guy says, 'Come to Gates and Garvey.' We drive away. There's a garbage truck. We get caught behind it. Shotti cocks the gun and says, 'These think I'm playing?' He runs toward the car. It goes into reverse. Shotti gets on one knee and starts firing off. The attorney then asked, 'What then happened?' Tekashi answered, "We went back to Kingston. Then later that night, I had a performance at the Barclays Center, the main event, fight. Adrian Broner against some other guy. I don't remember his name." He then goes on to describe the altercation with Casanova's crew. A little while after the dramatic night that Tekashi described, the financial disputes finally came to their head, with 6ix9ine kidnapping and robbery at the hands of his former friends. Although Shotti wasn't expressly involved with this incident until after, it was the catalyst for him being fired, although it also shows the music executive in a different light. At the end of the day, Shotti took gang violence to another level. Although in his eyes, he was holding it down for his crew, the result of his crimes is 15 years behind bar. With bad behavior and sometimes having to defend himself, his time can only be extended. What do you think about Shotti being wiretapped? Did he deserve to go out like he did? Is Tekashi 6ix9ine wrong for snitching on him? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And also let us know what type of future videos you'd like to see on our channel. Thanks for watching this video. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, and comment keyword Shotti to enter a chance at winning our $100 Amazon gift card giveaway.